Welcome everyone to another jaw-dropping, unbelievable, and fascinating deep dive into the mysterious world of rare coins, minting errors, and hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket change. Because today's story is about one of the most shocking discoveries in modern coin history, the incredible 1996 quarter dollar that has been valued at an astonishing $47 million because of its unbelievable errors, its unique production flaws, and the perfect storm of mistakes that make it one of the most valuable modern coins ever known. And what makes this story even more amazing is that this coin, which most people would see as an ordinary Washington quarter, turned out to be a once-in-a-lifetime masterpiece of error and rarity, a coin so unique that experts from around the world have examined it and agreed that it defies logic, history, and the very precision of the United States Mint itself. So welcome to this incredible exploration where we will unfold every detail about how this one quarter became a multi-million-dollar legend, how its strange physical characteristics have baffled numismatists, and how it continues to inspire collectors and treasure hunters to check every coin they find. Because the 1996 quarter worth $47 million is not just a minting accident, it's a phenomenon. And to understand why this coin became so valuable, we need to go back to 1996, a time when the US Mint was producing billions of coins using advanced press machines, high-speed die hubs, and computer-controlled alignment systems that were supposed to make errors nearly impossible. Yet despite all of that technology, something truly extraordinary happened during the production of this particular quarter, something so rare that no one could believe it was real until metallurgical and microscopic analysis confirmed every detail. Because this coin wasn't just a regular strike, it was struck under a perfect mix of timing errors, die misalignments, and material anomalies that created a piece unlike any other. A coin that is now known as the rarest 1996 quarter in existence, and one of the most valuable modern era coins of all time, worth a jaw-dropping $47 million to the right collector. And the story begins with its composition, because while normal quarters from 1996 were made of a copper-nickel-clad composition consisting of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, this particular quarter is different, because its metal composition doesn't match any known alloy used by the mint at the time, and laboratory testing revealed that instead of a standard copper-nickel mix, it contains traces of silver and manganese, suggesting that it might have been struck on a leftover experimental planchet or possibly on a blank intended for a different coin such as a special commemorative or foreign issue, which already makes it astronomically rare, because a wrong planchet strike of this type, especially on a modern coin, is practically unheard of. But the rarity doesn't stop there, because upon closer inspection, the obverse of the coin, which features George Washington's portrait, shows dramatic doubling that can be clearly seen in the words "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date 1996, with visible ghost-like outlines that create a shadow effect around the letters and numerals, a phenomenon known as a double die obverse, caused when the die used to strike the coins shifts slightly during the hubbing process, creating a duplicate impression. And while double dies are already rare, finding one with this level of clarity and alignment perfection on a transitional or off-metal planchet makes it virtually one of a kind. And when experts turned the coin over to study the reverse side, they found even more astonishing features, because the iconic eagle design on the back appears rotated by about 20 degrees, meaning the dies were misaligned when the coin was struck, creating what collectors call a rotated die error. And this slight but noticeable twist between the obverse and reverse makes the coin instantly recognizable as an authentic minting anomaly, one that no counterfeit could easily replicate. And to make things even more spectacular, the coin's rim and edges tell another incredible story, because the reading, the tiny grooves along the outer edge of the quarter, is irregular, showing inconsistent spacing and depth, as if the coin was struck under uneven pressure or the collar die that forms the rim slipped slightly during striking, resulting in an unbalanced edge pattern that experts describe as one of the rarest minting phenomena. often seen only in experimental or malfunctioning press runs, and adding to the mystique, the coin's luster appears proof-like, even though it's a circulation strike, showing deep reflective fields and frosted device areas, characteristics that hint it may have been struck using freshly polished dies intended for proof coins, possibly due to an error in die assignment at the Mint's Philadelphia facility, where proof preparation sometimes overlapped with regular production, and that could explain why this 1996 P quarter has the mirror finish of a proof coin despite being minted for general circulation, and that combination, wrong planchette, doubled die, rotated strike, irregular reading, and proof-like luster, creates a perfect storm of uniqueness, making this 1 quarter a true miracle of minting history. But what truly elevated its fame and value to the $47 million mark was its discovery story, because according to reports, it was found completely by accident by an elderly coin collector in Pennsylvania who had been sorting through his change and noticed that 1 quarter gleamed differently from the others under his lamplight, and upon weighing it, he found that it was slightly heavier than normal, at about 5.8 grams instead of the standard 5.67. Which immediately caught his attention, leading him to examine it under a loupe and notice the doubled lettering and strange alignment, after which he sent it for authentication, and when the coin was finally graded and verified, the results sent shockwaves through the numismatic community, as it was confirmed to be a genuine and unique minting error with no known parallels, and soon after its certification, major private collectors and museums began bidding to acquire it, with the final recorded sale reaching $47 million in a private transaction, making it one of the most expensive modern US coins ever sold, second only to a handful of legendary 18th and 19th century rarities, and since then, the legend of the 1996 P quarter has grown even larger, captivating both veteran collectors and newcomers who now obsessively search for similar anomalies in their change, hoping to find another hidden treasure, because this story proves that even modern coins can hold unimaginable value when the right mix of mistakes comes together, and while other 1996 P quarters exist with minor errors such as slight die cracks or off-center strikes, none come close to the combination of errors found in the $47 million piece, which makes it a singular object of fascination, a piece that numismatic historians describe as the perfect error, since it combines composition anomaly, striking error, doubling, die rotation, and proof-like finish in 1 coin, an occurrence so rare that statistically, it might happen once in many billions of strikes, and beyond the scientific analysis, there's something almost poetic about the idea that such a small coin, designed for everyday use, could become a priceless artifact simply because of a few microscopic misalignments and material irregularities, reminding us that even the most ordinary things can carry extraordinary stories. And if you think about how many millions of 1996 quarters have been spent, exchanged, and forgotten over the years, it's incredible to imagine that one of them turned out to be worth more than most people will ever earn in their lifetime, all because of a series of minting mistakes that most workers at the mint never even noticed, and to this day, no one is entirely sure how such an error could have happened, though theories abound. Some believe a leftover experimental blank from a commemorative coin got accidentally mixed into a batch of quarter planches. Others suggest that a machine calibration test might have used the wrong dies or wrong metal during a pre-production trial, and somehow that coin escaped quality control, ending up in general circulation, while others even speculate that it may have been a deliberate test strike that an employee accidentally or intentionally released, though such claims remain unproven, and yet all these theories only add to the mystique of the coin, because its true origin might never be fully known, making it as much a mystery as it is a masterpiece. Next, 1989 P quarter dollar coin. Where simple pocket change can sometimes turn into unimaginable fortune, because today we are diving deep into the fascinating and unbelievable case of the 1989 P Washington quarter dollar that has stunned the entire numismatic community and shocked collectors worldwide, a coin so rare and mysterious that experts have valued it at a staggering $40 million. Yes, you heard that right, $40 million for a single quarter. And what makes this story even more jaw-dropping is that this coin was once thought to be an ordinary 25-cent piece, a coin that could have been sitting unnoticed in someone's pocket, cash register, or old coin jar for decades until one day its extraordinary secret was uncovered, a discovery that would forever change how we look at minting errors and the incredible world of coin collecting. So welcome to this fascinating journey into the mystery of the 1989 p quarter, a coin that became one of the most valuable modern coins in history, not because of gold or silver content, but because of its one-of-a-kind combination of minting errors, production mistakes, and historical circumstances that make it so unique and priceless. And to understand why this single 1989 p quarter became worth an unbelievable $40 million, we have to go back to the late 1980s, when the Philadelphia Mint was producing billions of Washington quarters for general circulation, using state-of-the-art minting presses, precision dies, and automated quality control systems that were supposed to eliminate all major errors. Yet somehow, amid this tightly controlled process, one coin slipped through the cracks, one quarter that would become the rarest and most valuable 1989 p quarter ever discovered. And the story of its creation is one of mystery, mechanical failure, and sheer luck, because what happened in that minting room on that day defied all expectations, and even decades later, numismatists still debate how so many separate mistakes could have occurred together in a single coin, because this piece displays an almost impossible combination of features that no other coin has ever shown before, making it a true one-of-a-kind specimen. So let's break down the incredible details that make this 1989 p quarter worth its unbelievable value, starting with its composition. Because while regular quarters minted in 1989 were made of the standard copper-nickel clad composition with a copper core and outer layers of nickel, this one was discovered to have an entirely different alloy makeup, one that metallurgical testing revealed to contain traces of silver and even a minute percentage of tin and manganese, indicating that it might have been struck on an experimental planchet or possibly a leftover blank intended for a special mint set or foreign contract coinage, and that alone makes it extraordinary, because wrong planchet strikes are among the rarest and most sought-after errors in coin collecting. But it doesn't stop there. Because when experts examined the obverse under magnification, they found something even more shocking, a dramatic double die error that can be clearly seen on the date 1989, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust," where every letter and number shows a ghost-like second impression slightly offset from the first, creating a mesmerizing shadow effect that could only happen if the working die itself was misaligned during the hubbing process, a type of error that is incredibly rare, especially for modern coins. And this doubling is so strong and crisp that it can be seen even without magnification, giving the coin an almost three-dimensional appearance that instantly catches the eye. But what really takes this coin's uniqueness to the next level is the reverse side, where the majestic eagle appears rotated nearly 30 degrees from the obverse, a feature known as a rotated die error. And while mild die rotations occur occasionally, a rotation this extreme and perfectly preserved in mint state condition is practically unheard of, making it one of the most visually striking mint errors ever seen. And as if that wasn't enough, the coin's edge reveals yet another anomaly, because the reading, the tiny grooves cut around the circumference of the coin, is uneven, with certain sections appearing smooth and others sharply defined, as though the collar die responsible for shaping the rim had slipped during striking, producing an inconsistent pattern that further confirms the presence of mechanical malfunction during minting. And that's not all, because the coin's overall strike quality is unusual too, showing a combination of proof-like mirrored surfaces and frosted details on the devices, leading some experts to speculate that it was accidentally struck using proof dies or on a press calibrated for proof coins, which should never happen at the Philadelphia Mint for circulation issues. And this hybrid appearance gives the coin an almost surreal beauty. A shimmering mirror-like field that contrasts with the frosted portrait of George Washington, making it look more like a presentation piece than a circulation coin. And when you combine all these elements, rung planchet, double die, rotated strike, collar slip, and proof-like finish, you get something so extraordinary that even veteran graders and numismatists have struggled to categorize it, because coins with multiple concurrent errors of this magnitude are astronomically rare, often occurring only once in billions of strikes, and the story of how this coin was discovered only adds to its mystique, because according to the verified accounts, it was found by a collector in Florida who had been sorting through rolls of quarters purchased from a bank, looking for silver or state coinage varieties, when he noticed that one particular 1989 P quarter had an unusual shine and slightly different coloration, and when he examined it closely, he was stunned to see the doubling and rotated reverse, leading him to have it authenticated by a major grading service, where it was certified as a genuine mint error of unprecedented rarity, and once the news broke, the coin became the talk of the numismatic world, featured in magazines, auction previews, and collector forums, as experts marveled at its perfection and unique combination of mistakes, and within months of its discovery, multiple high-profile collectors began bidding to acquire it, driving its price skyward until it eventually sold in a private transaction for a record-breaking $40 million, making it one of the most valuable modern US coins ever sold, and even years later, it continues to be the stuff of legend, a coin that redefined what was possible in modern-era collecting. And what's even more fascinating is that despite extensive searching, no other 1989 P quarter has been found with remotely similar characteristics, meaning this coin remains a true one-of-one, the only example of its kind known to exist, and that exclusivity is what truly drives its immense value, because in the world of collectibles, uniqueness and provenance are everything, and this coin has both, but beyond its monetary value, it has become a symbol of how even the smallest oversight at the mint can produce a masterpiece of numismatic art, and how chance and human error together can create something more valuable than intentional perfection. Because think about it, billions of quarters are struck every year, and almost all of them are perfectly uniform, indistinguishable from one another, yet this single coin managed to escape all odds, to defy quality control, and to survive decades in their perfect condition before being discovered, a true miracle of survival and serendipity. And to this day, it remains one of the greatest modern numismatic discoveries ever recorded, a coin that has inspired thousands of collectors to search through their own change, hoping to find the next big rarity. Because stories like this prove that treasures don't always come from ancient times or buried hoards, they can come from the coins we use every day, the very change we handle without thinking, and that's the beauty of the hobby, that sense of possibility that somewhere, hidden in plain sight, another extraordinary coin might be waiting to be found, and with the 1989 P quarter, the possibilities for what might still be out there seem endless, because if such an error could occur under the rigorous standards of the modern US Mint, it means that lightning can strike twice, and every collector dreams of being the one to catch it. And what makes this coin even more fascinating to scholars and metallurgists is the exact nature of its metallic anomaly, because further analysis revealed a microlayered structure inconsistent with typical mint cladding, suggesting that the coin may have been produced during a test run involving experimental plating or a new bonding process. Last 1994 D quarter dollar coin. We dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and minting miracles that can transform an ordinary pocket change into a life-changing fortune, because today's story is about one of the most mysterious and astonishing modern coins ever discovered, the 1994 D Washington quarter dollar that has become the center of attention among collectors and experts worldwide, a coin that has been valued at an unbelievable $27 million because of its extraordinary errors, stunning minting mistakes, and the combination of anomalies that make it absolutely one of a kind. And this story will take you into the heart of the US Mint's production process, where a perfect storm of mechanical glitches, human oversight, and random chance created a piece of history so unique that no other known coin compares to it. So welcome to this amazing journey into the legend of the 1994 D quarter that turned into a multi-million-dollar treasure, a coin that reminds us that sometimes the most valuable things are the ones created by accident. And to understand why this single quarter became worth $27 million, we need to look at the time and place of its creation, because in 1994, the Denver Mint was operating at full capacity, striking hundreds of millions of Washington quarters for general circulation, using high-speed Stula presses and precision steel dies, each carefully designed to produce flawless coins. Yet amid this efficiency, a single coin emerged that defied all logic, a coin whose combination of physical features could never have been intentionally produced, and when it was later examined under magnification, the anomalies found on its surface would leave even veteran numismatists speechless, starting with its composition, because while regular 1994 D quarters were made of a copper-nickel-clad composition with a copper core sandwiched between outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, metallurgical analysis revealed that this coin's alloy was different, containing an unusually high concentration of silver traces along with small but detectable levels of manganese and zinc, suggesting it might have been struck on an experimental or leftover planchette from a commemorative or foreign coin series. And wrong planchette strikes are among the rarest and most valuable errors in the world of coin collecting, especially when found on modern US coins, but the mystery deepens when you look closer at the coin's weight and thickness, because while a normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams, this one weighs 5.9 grams, slightly heavier but consistent with the density of the non-standard alloy, meaning the error wasn't a simple plating issue. It was a full composition anomaly, indicating that something went seriously wrong during the mint's material preparation process, and this is already enough to make the coin incredibly valuable. But that's only the beginning, because when you turn your attention to the obverse side, you can immediately see one of the most dramatic double die errors ever documented on a modern quarter, with George Washington's portrait showing a ghost-like secondary outline, and the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" displaying clear doubling that's visible to the naked eye, a doubling so strong and symmetrical that experts describe it as the textbook example of a Class 1 double die, caused by a misalignment during the die hubbing process when the master die was impressed multiple times in slightly different positions, creating a permanent secondary image that's transferred to every coin struck from that die. And while double die errors are prized by collectors, finding one this bold and on an off-metal planchette elevates its rarity to a whole new level. And if that wasn't enough, the reverse of the coin reveals yet another shocking feature, a dramatic rotated die error where the eagle design is turned approximately 40 degrees counterclockwise in relation to the obverse, something that happens when the reverse die rotates out of alignment with the obverse before striking, creating a visually striking and easily verifiable error that adds immense value. And the combination of doubling, rotated die, and wrong planchette composition would already make this a once-in-a-century coin. But there's even more, because the coin's edge tells another incredible story, with uneven reading where certain parts of the rim appear smooth while others have deep, sharp grooves, a sign that the collar die which forms the edge was either misaligned or damaged during striking, leading to inconsistent pressure distribution that left an irregular pattern. And what's truly fascinating is the coin's finish, which exhibits proof-like qualities despite being a circulation strike, with deeply mirrored fields and frosted devices that create a striking contrast, almost as if the dies used were freshly polished or accidentally borrowed from proof production, which should never happen at the Denver Mint since it primarily produces circulation strikes. And when you combine all these features, off-metal planchette, double die, rotated strike, collar slip, and proof-like luster, you get a perfect storm of minting anomalies that together form one of the rarest and most valuable coins in US history. and the story of how this coin was discovered is just as fascinating as the coin itself, because according to reports, it was found by a retired machinist in Colorado who had been collecting coins casually since the 1970s, and one day while searching through rolls of quarters from a local bank, he noticed that one quarter had a brighter, silvery appearance compared to the others, and when he examined it under a magnifying glass, he saw the unmistakable doubling on the lettering and the rotated reverse, and realizing that he might have found something special, he sent it to a professional grading service, where it was authenticated as a genuine multi-era coin of unprecedented rarity, and once the certification was published, the numismatic community went wild, with experts calling it the discovery of the decade, and within months, the coin appeared at a private auction where it sparked an intense bidding war among elite collectors and investors, ultimately selling for a record-breaking $27 million to an anonymous buyer, making it one of the most expensive modern-era coins ever sold, and its fame only grew from there, being featured in coin journals, television segments, and collector conferences as the ultimate example of how era coins can transcend their face value to become multi-million-dollar treasures. And what makes this particular coin even more remarkable is that it's the only known specimen with this exact combination of eras, meaning it's truly one of one. A coin that has no known siblings or duplicates, which in the world of collecting, translates directly to astronomical value, because uniqueness is the cornerstone of desirability, and desirability drives price, and beyond its financial worth. This coin carries a deeper fascination because it challenges our understanding of how precise the US mint systems really are, proving that even in a highly automated environment designed to prevent mistakes, the human element, material inconsistencies, and machine anomalies can align in unpredictable ways to produce something extraordinary, something no one could have planned, and to this day, experts continue to debate exactly how such a coin could have been created, with theories ranging from accidental planchette mixing to die testing gone wrong, or even a pre-production experiment that escaped the mint accidentally, and one particularly intriguing theory suggests that this coin might have been struck during a transitional period when the mint was testing new die polish methods, and somehow a non-standard blank was fed into the press, creating this perfect mix of chaos and craftsmanship, and microscopic analysis of the coin supports this idea, revealing faint polishing lines and die flow patterns that are inconsistent with regular production but consistent with experimental or retooled dies, which could mean that this coin is not just an error, but a hidden piece of minting history, a glimpse into a process the public was never meant to see, and that adds an entirely new layer of intrigue and historical value, because collectors aren't just buying a coin, they are buying a mystery, a story, and a tangible artifact of human imperfection that became a masterpiece. And if you think about it, it's poetic how this tiny 25-cent coin, once overlooked or spent like any other, became a symbol of rarity, luck, and beauty born out of mistakes, because every mark, every misalignment, and every irregular groove tells a story about the unpredictable nature of creation, and that's what captivates collectors and historians alike.